Hello, lovely viewers, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful News official YouTube channel. Steffi Forrester, who was brave and had the gorgeous admirers and stitches, was vulnerable at the time and attributed her survival to Sheila Carter. This recognition follows a lifetime of hostility characterized by treacheries, violent altercations, and close calls that have shaped their tumultuous past. As Steffi, who is usually uncompromising in her contempt for Sheila, acknowledges that her archeney's courage changed the course of a dangerous confrontation, picture the shock waves coursing through Forrester creations. Whispers from the set add depth to this drama by suggesting that Steffi's thankfulness may be the result of a deeper introspection she had while recovering in the hospital, when she considered not only her own near-death experience, but also the frailty of familial bonds in the midst of disaster. The isolated beach home swiftly turned into a terrifying scenario when the turmoil broke out on that fateful July 4th evening. In order to face Steffi, Luna Noah set up a dangerous trap since she was obsessed with her biological father, John Finnegan. Luna said that Steffi was monopolizing Finn and their little son, Hayes, blocking any possibility of a family reunion because she was blinded by envy and unresolved paternal abandonment concerns. Luna's tirade turned into threats while she had a pistol aimed at Steffi, revealing a shattered mental state that may have been made worse by unreported childhood traumas related to her mother's clandestine history. Sources close to the production suggest that Luna had been covertly chronicling her delusions, creating a fresh aspect here. Her acts were given a terrifying calculated edge by later discovered entries that showed she had been planning for weeks. Presenting Sheila Carter, the notorious wild card whose appearance completely changed the course of events. With a mixture of desperation and resolve, Chris Sheila attacked the beach home, taking pride in Steffi's whereabouts from a hesitant Taylor H. Shell, a former competitor who was now an easy ally. Sheila, the self-styled guardian of her son Finn's happiness, tried to defuse the tense situation by appealing to Luna, her own granddaughter, via complicated familial ties to choose kindness over insanity and a clever way to phrase the tension. According to reports, Sheila's voice quivered with an uncommon tenderness as she tried to relate to Luna's suffering by recalling her own past of mother regrets. However, the plea had a disastrous outcome. Sheila dove for the rifle, starting a furious fight that resulted in a flurry of bullets that reverberated like mishandled Independence Day fireworks. The toll from the intense battle was terrible, but also illuminating after it was all over. Sheila lost a toe in the crossfaria and came out with a horrifying injury. She then made jokes about the strange and excruciating symbol of her sacrifice in the hospital, saying it was just a little cost for her family. Steffi was also injured. She was alive but limping due to a gunshot wound to her foot. Sheila's timely diversion helped a little. Sadly, Luna did not make it through the trauma. Debates about the show's depiction of mental health have been triggered by her preoccupation, which led to a fatality and added fresh elements for depth. On-scene paramedics reported a desire to blow. The beach house was covered in broken glass from a vase that had been knocked over, signifying the crushed hopes of everyone concerned and the faint echo of Luna's last mutterings about wanting her father's love. Following her rescue, while recovering in a hospital room among worried family members, Steffi spoke the words that have sparked many rumors. In an open discussion with her father, Ridge Forrester, Steffi said simply, "Liam was there to help." Sheila added, "She saved my life too." This unvarnished statement, which was free of her typical disclaimers and sarcasm, signaled a dramatic change, maybe brought on by painkillers and the unadulterated feeling of survival. Negan Ridge's astonished face and his protective tendencies clashed with this unexpected complexity, allowing for creative expansion. He has seen Sheila's machinations for sand after all. His daughter was offering an olive branch, although a timid one. In a society where previous misdeeds are a major concern, this event poses important issues about atonement. The tragic gunshot at Steffi and Finn's wedding, which left them fighting for their lives, several stage murders that tested everyone's sanity, and a pattern of torture that has left the Forrester and Finnegan clans scarred, are just a few of Sheila's horrific past. Fans surmise that this act may be related to Sheila's changing therapy sessions, where she has been exploring her impulsive nature, suggesting that she is truly growing despite the soap opera flair. However, her selfless leap into danger, giving up a piece of herself, literally paints her as a complex anti-heroine, creating a fresh angle. The emotional impact is a tornado for Finn. Lenoa, whose instability was caused by a web of falsehoods and concealed paternity, just lost his daughter and is now struggling with Sheila's bravery in rescuing his wife. Despite being the voice of caution, his adoptive mother Lee Finnegan is probably furious at the thought of Sheila gaining any momentum and may even be planning to erect further obstacles, including made-up details. Imagine Finn at a silent hospital vigil, divided between sadness for Luna's grudging admiration for Sheila is exacerbated by memories of his own troubled childhood. Then there's Poppy Nozawa's terrifying response, a motherly revelation that puts viewers in a frenzy. Poppy acknowledged feeling relieved when she heard of Luna's death, saying, "I'm happy my daughter's gone." A declaration that reveals long-standing anxieties about Luna's catastrophic trajectory. Poppy may have seen Luna as a ticking time bomb because of her chilly detachment, which raises concerns about her past and any concealed abuse or secrets. To give a more complete image of a tense mother-daughter relationship, insiders imaginatively speculate that Poppy's relief is the result of years of concealing Luna's unpredictable actions, such as mysterious disappearances or small-time crimes. Social media has become a battlefield of viewpoints due to the polarized fan responses. Supporters of Sheila's redemption story celebrate this as a victory, picturing family get-togethers where past grievances are forgotten. However, skeptics caution Steffi against being too soft, citing Sheila's periods of reform that eventually devolved into plots. Consider the widely shared viral disaster of Sheila with a bandaged foot caption that is completely redeemed to make it interesting. A light-hearted reference to her injuries that keeps the discussion going. Following that, we will discover more about Liam Spencer's serious health situation on The Bold and the Beautiful, where a surprising surgical turn might spell the difference between life and death. Liam Spencer is hurled back into the operating room for yet another emergency surgery in a heart-pounding escalation that has spectators on the edge of their seats, with Grace Buckingham, a resolute physician, taking the lead this time. This event follows closely on Liam's original hospitalization, when he was shot during a tumultuous altercation that left the Spencer family in shock. In the midst of the chaos, Grace, who was renowned for her direct approach and strong commitment to her patients' results, had first contested to be in charge of the operation, seeing Liam as her main duty. To add more detail, picture the busy hallway coming alive with tension as Grace adamantly argued, her scrub still immaculate, that she was the best candidate because she knew Liam's complicated medical history, possibly even referencing a previous instance in which she exposed a similar dire circumstance for another well-known patient. But a difficult decision had to be made due to the urgency of the situation. Sheila Sharp may have been put in risk if they had waited for another surgeon, which would have delayed the wait for her crucial procedure. John Finnegan intervened forcefully, pushing Grace to change course and help with Sheila while he attended to Liam's potentially fatal injuries. In a medical miracle already hailed as heroic by hospital officials, Finn's deft hands effectively removed the bullet, saving Liam from the edge. But in the world of soap operas, triumph is short-lived. Liam's path is quite different from, coupled with the potential for post-operative complications to ruin everything, creating a new aspect for extra interest. The stakes for what comes next are raised by rumors from the set that Finn found some oddity during the treatment, such as a hidden clot connected to Liam's continuous problems, which he recorded in his charts for future use. Liam's unstable general health adds to the drama, a shadow that has threatened to tilt the scales for him for months. Steffi Forrester reminded everyone around her that Liam hasn't been feeling his best in a long time. In his unrelenting battle against an incurable brain tumor, his vigor drained away. His normal tasks have become very difficult due to this awful diagnosis, making what should have been a straightforward recuperation a high-wire performance. Rewording the vulnerability in a unique way. Imagine Liam during the slower times leading up to the filming, perhaps telling close friends about the fatigue and dizziness that caused him to doubt his ability to be a father to his daughter now heightens the fear in his loved ones who remember how the tumor's progression has gradually changed his once lively personality, making him more cautious and introspective. It seems that this vulnerability will play a role in the story as it develops. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint to a rapid decline that necessitates quick action, bringing Liam back under the knife in a race against time as he experiences a major setback in his recovery process during the crucial week of July 14th to 18th. Here, Grace Buckingham shows herself to be the driving force, seeking to oversee this follow-up procedure with an intensity and mystery. Her passion is nothing new. Even before the shooting chaos, Grace showed an almost compulsive commitment to managing Liam's tumor, pushing the envelope in ways that caused others to take notice. To elaborate with creative components, think about how Grace may have compiled a dossier of state-of-the-art studies from international conferences during her free time, all in an effort to give Liam choices he hadn't thought of, maybe even causing her to argue with co-workers over her combative behavior, which some see as going too far into personal space. Recalling those past conflicts, Finn had prudently placed a strong emphasis on patient autonomy, reminding everyone that Liam was ultimately in charge of choosing whether to live through the exhausting side effects of radiation and chemotherapy, which may lower his remaining quality of life. As if Flem's situation were a personal mission, Grace pressed forth with unwavering support, even begging for urgent treatment. Now that the shooting's aftermath is taking the stage, the emphasis shifts to the survey values need to survive this immediate danger before considering long-term fights against his cancer, bringing vision and artistic depth to a contentious consultation room discussion. She humanized her pushiness as stemming from real, if overzealous, concern by comparing it to a hypothetical prior patient who overcame chances while in her care and raising her voice when she gave survival statistics. The weight of expectation looms large as Grace prepares to undertake this important next operation. She is well aware of the tremendous pressure as she approaches the mission, being aware that her accuracy will determine Liam's destiny and therefore the emotional stability of his circle members. Liam's other loyal family members and friends join the nervous vigil keepers, including the patriarch Bill Spencer, who has a history of being very protective. Everyone was eagerly awaiting any news, pacing the waiting room, to create a fresh, vibrant layer. Imagine Steffi providing silent support as Bill holds a faded picture of Liam as a youngster and recalls their difficult but steadfast relationship. Her empathy is heightened by her own recent tragedy, and it may even result in a moving hallway exchange where Bill promises to pay for cutting-edge research if Liam survives. The Bold and the Beautiful will then tell us about the tense hospital vigil for Liam Spencer, where family emotions are running high and Wyatt Spencer's possible return might spark a clash motivated by retaliation. Liam Spencer's closest friends and family members have gathered in a solemn vigil as the antiseptic hallways of the Los Angeles hospital reverberate with worried murmurs. They are staring at the monitors in his room, which are beeping softly, and they are fervently praying for any indication that he may awaken from his fragile condition. Following Luna Noah's violent outburst, which left Liam critically injured and battling for his life, comes this suspenseful wait. Imagine the waiting room turned into a temporary command center with coffee cups scattered about and hushed chats disclosing long-kept Spencer family secrets to add further layers to the situation. Maybe a faraway relative is sending encouraging signals from a distance, reminding everyone of Liam's fortitude in the face of adversity, such as his prior near-death experiences with love relationships. At the heart of the drama that is developing is the burning issue of whether Liam's loyal half-brother, Wyatt Spencer, is returning to the busy streets of Los Angeles to support him at this crucial moment. Recent stories have been particularly affected by Wyatt's absence. However, now that Liam's life is in jeopardy, his return seems not only necessary, but also opportune. Imaginatively building on this, Forbes suggests Wyatt may be finishing off business agreements abroad when he gets an urgent contact from a common buddy, which would cause him to abandon everything and take the next aircraft. Memories of their fraternal adventures, such as the time they banded together to take on business competitors at Spencer Publications, were circling through his head. In fact, Liam is in dire need of Wyatt's support to advocate for him, particularly when it comes to entrusting his father, Bill Spencer, whose judgment has been impaired by previous mistakes, with the difficult task of making life-or-death medical decisions that nobody wants. Everyone is on edge due to Bill's history of making snap judgments, therefore Wyatt is the calm voice of reason amid this tempest, adding a new dimension of complexity. Imagine Wyatt showing up just in time for a crucial family gathering, where he uses old pictures of himself and Liam together as children to inspire the group and highlight how their relationship has always served as the compass throughout Bill's crazy antics about establishing his business. The blame game heats up since it's obvious that Bill is largely responsible for the disaster. He was instrumental in Luna Noah's release from jail, which essentially led a convicted murderer to return to society and put many lives in jeopardy, including his own son's. Spill's support for Luna's liberation, maybe disguised as misplaced sympathy or covert plans, started a series of events that led to the shooting spree, which is now being closely examined. Consider how Bill's decision was influenced by a late-night police meeting with Luna's mother, Poppy Noah, where he knowingly fueled Luna's instability and caused the bloodshed that has Liam on edge by promising protection in exchange for insider information on a business rival. This is an inventive way to reword and add details. If Bill had only let Luna stay, had she been imprisoned where justice required her to remain as a notorious murderer, the whole catastrophe may have been avoided, saving Liam from his present struggle in the ER and avoiding the terror that now permeates the city. This hypothetical situation haunts the protagonists, emphasizing Bill's arrogance as the cause of the mayhem and introducing a made-up plot point in which insiders allude to leaked prison documents that reveal Luna's increasing threats while incarcerated. Records that Bill disregarded in his rush to secure her freedom are being used as incriminating proof at unofficial family gatherings. The most recent spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Bill will be confronted by Liam's inner circle in the hospital hallways. In a protracted, smoldering conflict, their charges were flying like arrows. After seeing how Bill's antics almost lost him, his daughter Steffi, and his grandson Hayes in the crossfire, even Ridge Forrester, the ever-protective grandfather, is ready to rekindle their long-standing rivalry. He rephrases with fresh flair and sees Ridge rushing into the waiting room. He pointed the finger at Bill and dug up old grudges from their shared history of love and professional conflicts, his fancy suit rumpled with anxiety. Maybe even bringing up a long-forgotten instance in which Bill's plots previously jeopardized the Forrester family's heritage. When Wyatt returns as expected, he will be heartbroken to learn that his own father was the one who released the shooter. An unprecedented discovery that has the potential to upend the Spencer dynasty. Wyatt's protective tendencies towards Liam are heightened by this betrayal since it affects him personally. Imagine Wyatt's first moments back to create captivating aspects. Liam overhears nurses discussing the name of the gunman during a heartfelt reunion at his bedside. As he figures together Bill's participation, his face twisted in shock. She cuts to happy memories of Bill playing the devoted father at family get-togethers. Although Luna's acts are her own, the law may absolve Bill of any criminal responsibility for her outburst. However, spoilers hint that Wyatt may pursue a personal quest for justice, maybe focusing on his father in an attempt to retaliate that crosses family boundaries. Depending on the specifics, this grudge may take the form of subtly damaging things or direct confrontations motivated by a brother's devotion. Consider how Wyatt hired a private investigator to look into Bill's recent activities and covered emails that exposed Bill's more sinister intentions, such as using Luna as a pawn in a bigger power struggle against rivals, which strengthened Wyatt's determination to hold Bill accountable on an emotional, if not legal, level. The path ahead may be paved with disastrous obstacles if Liam is unable to walk when he eventually emerges from his coma, according to rumors circulating the set. Forgetfulness, which erases treasured memories of his loved ones, or the trauma, which impairs his movement. Such results would only fuel Wyatt's rage, making his quest for retribution seem even more legitimate and pressing, leading to creative expansion. Imagine the emotional impact of Liam's first remarks when he wakes up a bewildered, "Who are you?" to his kids. It would send shockwaves through the room, inspiring Wyatt to promise protection and maybe even look into experimental cures overseas to help his brother recover. The huge questions are looming as all of this is developing. Is it past time for Wyatt to return to the City of Angels and take back his place in the family? Will he also make Bill answerable for the wounds that have rocked Liam's life and turned parental ties become battlefields? These events promise to bring the high-octane drama that fans have been craving, keeping us riveted to every twist as the Bold and the Beautiful continues to weave its web of mystery.